Hey everybody, welcome back to a very casual, very quick episode of Backlog Banter with no wind-up, very little release, almost like a Nintendo Direct partner showcase in itself.
That's true.
Now, I want to regale you with a little bit of history. It's not really history, it's actually just basically current events, because this Direct happened this morning when I was in class, got out of class, saw there was a partner showcase. I couldn't give less of a shit considering the last one. I had to run some errands, had lunch with a friend, came back, and watched Tucker's live reaction, which I found very amusing, actually. I really enjoyed
Thank
that.
you. Oh,
I really enjoyed that. Before we continue quickly, got a new N64 hat. It's Vaporwave. I'm a big
got
fan of it.
I've got hair.
Um, totally unrelated, but I just wanted to point it out. But the fact is, beyond my hat, being cool, partner direct, not bad. Not bad at all, actually. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I think the biggest thing Nintendo needs to do is drop the direct branding off of it. Because I think
Sure.
removing that gets rid of a lot of expectations and leaves us with what is a recurrent 15-minute showcase of upcoming third-party titles, which I think is absolutely fine. And while I'm not going to play most, probably not any of these
Yeah.
games, I might play the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game. Other than that, I'm not going to. But it was an all right selection of titles from some fairly meaty publishers and some fairly well-known IP
Yeah.
that frankly would have been distractions in any other kind of Nintendo Direct. So I was to use a word that I don't really know the definition of, but I think applies here. I was semi nonplussed by this showcase.
Wow, that's a big word.
Might not even
Well,
be a real one.
I was pretty happy with it when I watched it. I do think that to refute your earlier point about them dropping the direct branding, I think the longer they do this sort of thing, people's expectations will sort of level out. The more of these partner showcases that we have, people will learn to see the partner showcase first and the Nintendo Direct part second.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is shadow dropped and there's not a hype built up to it. I can't remember. Was there hype built up to the last one? Did they like tease that a day before or something like that?
It got announced ahead of time, but it got announced at midnight and dropped at 10
Oh,
a.m.
yeah,
in
that's
the
right.
morning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So
they
so
learned their mistake a little
technically, but
bit.
barely. Yeah. But I think that the fact that these are so small, and this time it was actually there was some substance to it. I mean, Puyo Puyo Tetris and Kingdom Hearts and
Wait,
uh
no, there wasn't. There
what?
was substance, but there was no substance.
I don't think that's what I said, but we're gonna pass right by that because this was a definitely a better showcase than the first one
Yes.
was. The first one was hell of a disappointment, and that is that was the video that started it all for us. I mean, we had videos before that, but when we talked about that mini showcase, we haven't really stopped since.
We blew up to
Um,
superstardom with that video.
so true. But no, yeah, I'm happy that this came out. I'm confused because the hype for a direct or the rumors were swirling like a freaking hurricane this morning, and then this dropped, and I guess this is replacing that, or this was that the whole time. It's hard to tell, but
Of the credible, I'll call them blue check leakers, the only ones I really care about being like Daniel Ahmad and Jeffrey Grubb.
yeah,
Daniel Ahmad never said anything was coming on Friday. Jeff Grubb said that heard a lot of different things. Now that this has happened, there's probably not going to be anything
yeah,
Friday. Um, and that's the only lens through which I'm disappointed, but that's not even really a valid lens to be disappointed through because there was never anything official.
that's true. Yeah,
Um, but this was an inoffensive showcase.
mm-hmm.
And I would like it to get to the point where it's something a little bit more, like maybe if there's just one nugget, because for as shit as the last one was, we did have SMT5,
That's true. Yeah,
and I think that did confuse the messaging a little bit, but as to what the scale of these is, I think this is a clearer lens as to what to expect. And if this is what it is, it's going to be a thing where probably I'll just look for announcements on Twitter, which is what I initially did until I watched your live reaction.
yeah,
Um, which is fine. I think this is a fine way to deliver news. But if we could get to the point where it's like, okay, here's a bunch of middling stuff, and then boom, and that boom doesn't have to be fucking Final Fantasy VII remake coming to Switch,
yeah.
but maybe it's Far Cry 3 special or something like that.
Ooh, that'd
Some
be
some
fun.
kind
You're
of
getting me hyped for a game that doesn't even exist.
yeah, some kind of just new port or interesting little collaboration.
Sure. Yeah.
I think a little stinger like that would make these more than just, hey, here's 15 minutes of games that look fine, that are presented all right, but
Yeah. And I think the fact that we have this and it seems to be on a consistent basis, they said they're having more this year. It was the monthly branding was still kept. So hopefully this is a once a month deal. And if they're able to keep that up consistently, I think that it'll show that they're still working on announcements. It's just for some godforsaken reason, the actual directs are missing. But if they can keep up Indie World presentations and these, and every other week we have something to look forward to, then when an actual direct does drop, I think it'll feel even more impactful because it'll be the moment we all been waiting for. I mean, it's been literally a fucking year now, so.
Yeah, and I guess that's actually the last major thing I want to even bring up because I honestly don't have much to say. I really do want Nintendo to start announcing these things ahead of time, and even if it's not like, hey, here on Tuesday, it's coming out on Thursday. If they were just like the third Thursday of every month, you're getting a partner showcase or something.
Yeah.
That would be really helpful. Not only from the perspective of people who like to make content about this stuff, but just from a fan perspective. The endless direct hype is tiring, and I used to like to speculate about it. Then I used to like to poke fun at the people that speculate and try to be like, hey, you know what, we need to like have any kind of productive conversation. Now that I don't even want to engage with it, and I think part of that issue does lie at Nintendo's feet for just dropping shit whenever,
Yeah.
which on one hand does have some appeal, but on the other hand, when someone like me, who's one of your hardcore fans, sees that this happens on Twitter after class and then I'm not compelled to watch it, like, oh, that heads up, I think, is huge, and I think it's gonna make viewership higher. It's gonna make these feel more impactful. They're gonna feel more important. They're gonna set expectations better. I just think Nintendo's been a little too, and I know I don't want to get too vulgar, but a little too loosey goosey with the way they're doing these showcases.
Yeah, we definitely don't curse around here, and that was pushing it. But so this is your first yellow card. But I'm glad I live reacted to it. I guess I'll try to do that whenever it happens. I don't
Those
mind.
fucking views, though.
Yeah, that video is doing surprisingly well.
Yeah.
But if I'll continue making that content if people enjoy it. But I think I can't say I'm gonna get any of the games that were shown today. Puyo Puyo Tetris, I think, was the biggest announcement because that was a surprisingly popular game when the Switch came out, being one of the first games on the Switch, third-party wise, and one that was showed off during the sizzle reel for the 2017 January conference. And a sequel. I watched the trailer, not sure what a sequel necessarily means for that game.
It looked like the same game.
Yeah, it looked like the same game. I mean, if the story mode is different, I would have to be, but who gives a shit? But that is an interesting one because it is a relatively large announcement because that was a popular game. It's a sequel to a popular game. But the fact that they didn't, even as someone who watched the trailer and you watched the trailer, I couldn't tell what was the difference, what the big selling point for buying a sequel was. That's a little weird on the side of Namco. I don't know who makes those games.
Yeah, the only that's Sega. That's a
Sega.
Sega
Oh yeah, of course it's Sega. I'm stupid.
The only two I want to point out really quickly. One is Fuser. Fuser is going to be a big fucking deal, or at least they're hyping it up like it's going to be. By the way, Harmonix, they make Rock Band.
Oh, that's right. That's where I recognize the name.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think it's Guitar Hero. But so when I was at PAX East, there was a huge Fuser like setup with a live DJ, and that thing was fucking packed constantly. And part of that was like, oh, hype, we're at a convention. But I actually think that they're really pushing this game. They really want to do something big, and the fact that it is on Switch is kind of cool. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
I did think that rhythm game, heinous art style, terrible animations, muddy backgrounds, with Tenutsu Tojin, Drum Boy.
Yeah.
That is basically Donkey Konga. It's actually Donkey Konga, but without Donkey Kong or the Onga part. There's no bongos.
It's just a K.
I like the concept actually of like a rhythm RPG. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like the only one in here that, by the way, so many fucking rhythm games all of a sudden. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
But Kingdom Hearts and Melodies of Memories or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
I mean, I dabble in Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And of any of them, that's probably the one I pick up. Maybe.
Yeah, I doubt that. The 8-player announcement for that was kind of weird. That's a out of left field thing.
Everybody plays one color note.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know how 8 players works on any kind of rhythm game, let alone a Kingdom Hearts rhythm game. Yeah.
Also,
Another
that Creed
thing.
game,
Yep, I
awful.
was just gonna bring up the Creed
That
game.
logo
Yeah, no, it's just text. It's just font.
and the
No
font's not the
design.
same as the Creed font.
Yeah, it's close, but it's not the exact same. That was so strange. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, both Rocky and Creed are big franchises. I don't know why they didn't push that more, put in more effort. Who knows? But that game is not going to do well. And also, it's competing against the game that was also announced in the last mini partner showcase. That one WWE game that was.
WWE Battlegrounds is actually supposed to be like kind of fun.
Oh, is it
Like
actually? I don't know
people
anything
are kind of
about
looking forward to that.
it. Okay, that's
I've
interesting.
heard it referred to as Nito Mosquito in some circles.
That's
But,
glowing
but
praise? Question mark.
but I am kind of like trying to rack my brain and be like, did anything in that showcase appeal to me? Not really, but
Yeah.
I can like my eyes and my prefrontal cortex can recognize the images in front of me as having some kind of importance to somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
The final thing I don't think, honestly, there's probably something I'm forgetting, but the final thing I do remember is a Game Boy Final Fantasy collection, something like that.
yeah, this is the final saga,
Saga.
romancing saga collection, whatever.
And I don't think it's the exact same. I saw somebody on Twitter talking about that. I think it's a different thing. There's a lot of different things under that
Romancing
sort of.
Saga is different.
Yes, but there's a Final Fantasy Saga 3 games coming out, which is cool. I'm happy that they're putting legacy content out. I mean, we've seen that with Collection of Mana and a lot of the old Final Fantasy games and things of that nature. But I don't like the fact that they have the buttons on screen and those backgrounds are really ugly. So
And those look like mobile interfaces.
yeah. Oh, speaking of mobile interfaces, World of Tanks Blitz, which is a mobile game and was part of the showcase, and didn't look particularly great, but it is a mobile port. I know people like World of Tanks, and I don't know if they like the mobile version, but that's an announcement, I guess.
No Persona 5 Scramble, which is a little disappointing for me.
Yeah, that's a strange one.
But
There are.
that's big enough to be in a regular direct.
That's true. I think the thing is, we're thinking, oh, why don't they show off No More Heroes? Why don't they show off like all this stuff? Is that these games are big enough? The ones that we think are exciting are big enough to be in a normal direct, and
Well,
probably will be safe for normal directs.
it's important that we check ourselves before we wreck ourselves because SMT5 and 3 Nocturne were also big enough to be in regular
That's
directs.
true. That's true.
That's why we need one more of these to really elucidate what like the scope of these.
Thinking about these Nintendo partner showcases is actually remind me quite a bit of when Sony started their state of plays. Is that it was hard to tell what exactly they were going for the state of plays, what the format was going to be, what level of announcements we should expect, what the pacing was going to be like, and now we're starting to get a sign of both of them. But obviously, this one being newer, we definitely need to get a couple more to really understand what they're going for.
See, I don't agree, and I think that Nintendo needs to do a better job than Sony because Sony had a Final Fantasy VII remake trailer, like when that game was hot shit. That was a big deal. That was pre-release. They had that. They revealed Resident Evil 3 remake.
That's true.
Like that showcase, I think, has a big fucking identity crisis still, especially after that last one being kind of underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Rift Apart gameplay at Gamescom, which I'm excited for.
Gamescom is going to be surprisingly big, I think.
I don't know if it's going to be. I hope it.
Well, we'll probably do a discussion about it. So,
I was making some kind of point. I forget. Something
of points.
About the partnerships, portobello mushroom.
Okay.
Give these things an identity. That's it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see what happens next time. I think we should probably wrap this up because I've got to speed off the Latin class in a relatively short amount of time. So you make this thumbnail, I'll upload the video. We're talking about our behind-the-scenes stuff on camera, but who cares?
And we'll be back on Friday either to discuss Super Mario 3D All-Stars or to silently cry on camera. Whichever is going to happen.
Gamescom. One of the two. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later. Twitter's down below if you wanna tweet or Twitter. So, bye guys.
See ya.
Okay. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Guess what? I've been recording this whole time, motherfucker.
You can't surprise me with that anymore. Now
I know. I know. I do it every time.
I like your
Whoa!
reaction.